Hello, guys, and welcome to what is it today? Tuesday, a Q&A session on Chart Prime. Hopefully, you guys have your Q&A or your questions ready to go because we have some answers ready to go. Other than that, Alex, how has it been? And we were just talking about gossip, but let me know, how was your morning?
Oh my god, complete garbage. I, you have days where you don't see it, and today was one of those days. I had levels, I had ideas, uh, and it fell apart because it got very choppy on me, and I made some bad decisions, and I was down $2,000, and then I gig along Solana, and now I'm up. Now I'm just only down $500. We'll see if it does want to continue to play. We're long from VWAP basically. Uh, I want to see, I want to see Sol get up to 194.5. 195 would be a retest of the lows, but we'll see if it can. It's trying. We'll leave it at that. Bitcoin's struggling a little bit, but the story today is we had some news data and the Nasdaq looks really strong. So, and the SPY has pushed up quite nicely. So, a couple of I think we always talk about price action and market structure, right? The trend is still down. So when we're longing a downtrend, we should be very aggressive with taking profits. Okay? That is critical because you're looking for a retracement, not a reversal most of the time. So we'll see what we get. Right now, it's looking okay. There's a lot of these altcoins though. There's a lot of like liquidity down below that really hasn't been taken. And to me, that's always a recipe for retracement. So we can look at those things, but how was your morning, OC?
Sorry, I was looking at something else. What were you saying, my friend? Very sorry for that.
What are you looking at right now? I mean, are you in any trades? I'm pretty much done with my Sol trade. I'm 90% out, so
perfect. Let's go check out.
Want to continue to push.
Absolutely. I also see Gary asking about the 195.42 VWAP, bro. No, I don't use VWAP, just so you know, but I'm looking at an area of resistance. Let me show you really quickly. Gary is asking, can Sol get to 195? And I'm thinking 195.42. Right, that is because we have this meaningful high in here. We also have these areas right there, and we have also a weak right down here, right? So it will make sense for it to reach those areas. Not only that, let me bring up the rest of my indicators, and you'll notice that I don't really use VWAP. It's just something that I don't know. It's kind of like
intraday, bro.
Yeah,
you swing trades, so for me, it's like it doesn't make sense fully. Maybe you could use it like as a reference point for the day, but if you're swing trading, you're not really concerned with it.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like having a very small EMA, which is very tied to the price action. So, in my perspective, it doesn't really match what I'm looking at, right? Another important thing is that we're breaking this resistance, becoming support, right? Also, I want you guys to look at your oversold in here, your golden box. We already have our OS, so oversold, and we have our possible reversal. We are already building that flip of the ribbon. In fact, and this is not a position that I'm going to be taking right now, but I think that if you haven't entered, you could even enter where we are at this point with the risk. If you're going to be taking this long in here, make sure that this is somewhere around 5x, 5 to 10x, all right? And it's not more than half of an entry. A quarter, I would suggest, not financial advice, right? And that is because I believe that we could be creating a dead cat bounce. So what is a dead cat bounce? Look at when we come back down, we did have this little bitty pump, but this is a more meaningful pump that where we can create a trend line, right? So this pumping here where we get bulls trapped, that is a dead cat bounce, and we haven't had that bounce anywhere, right? So having this dead can bounce something like that would make sense. Let's just measure how big this that cat bounce was, and let me just lock this in here. Let's also lock this one in place, and then let's clean this up for a bit. All right, so I'm also going to be getting rid of this box. Mm, well, not really, because I'm looking to enter in those boxes. But let's go and take a look at, for example, that we have a loud order block all the way up here, right? A bullish order block. This is liquidity. If you know anything about order blocks, it is that they are magnetic, right? And they can shift places from one minute to another. So if we have a big magnet here and we have it pulling it up into the price action, right? And we already have something resembling a flip of the ribbon, because look at that, it's almost the same thing like this, which means yes, we can trickle one more time downwards, but I'm not seeing that so far. All right, so that's why I could be jumping for a long. Let's go ahead and let's measure this bounce. All right, so known point from a Fibonacci to this what is it, a pivot point, and you'll see that we have a 50% retracement. Let me push it to my right in here, right? So you'll see right here that this was a 50% retracement. Let's do the same thing with this area right here. And for that, let's bring up again Fibonacci. So known point all the way up here, all the way down to this area, right at the bottom of this week. And where is our 50% retracement? Our 50% retracement, it is at 198. All right. Important. I don't want to give you FOMO. All right. Well, based on that, be careful when you jump in, because your entry was farther back below, was at your dynamic reactor. So if you're gonna be jumping in right now, you are jumping in with a I don't know how to call that, with something against you, which is not a good position, right? So some of that movement already playing out. All right. So I'm looking at that 50% retracement, 30% retracement will be also okay. Aiming at 195, 194 or 195.4. So I think that it's pretty possible, the 195 target, especially if we're looking for it to become a swing trade for a 50% retracement. All right, so what I'm going to be going for is, again, this alert in here, and I want a better entry. So I'm also going to be adding another alert right there, and I'm going to be trying to get this entry a little bit lower, maybe within the next candle or something like that. If this blows, it blows. I don't care. My entry was already back down here, all right? So I will not be trying to chase this price, especially now that Bitcoin is not feeling bullish, right? Important about Bitcoin, and that is why this is not kind of like a looking that bullish. In other scenarios, I would say, you know what? If we are in support, let's log it. A quarter of a position, because we can go for a one more swing low. All right, but at this point I'm not, and that is because where all of my confluence is at, right? Or I don't know who. Well, I don't know who's also tracking this, but out of this trend line, we're making something that actually looks wrong to the eye. I mean, we should be going down to the right, right? But it also feels like we're reversing back down. We're going parabolic back in time, right? So we're depegging out of the trend line and going lower, 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 making a parabolic downwards movement, which is, by the way, just so you know, this is not possible, right? It's not possible to go back in time, all right? But it feels like it, right? We are already almost at the 90 degrees area where we should be seeing that movement. But once we see that, we usually see, and also Alex mentioned this yesterday, right? That when we're going very bearish, or in these areas where we have a lot of support, it is where we have a V-shaped recovery, or it's likely that we could have that V-shaped recovery. I look at it at a different stamp, which is, I mean, if you um, granulate this, it's the same exact mathematical background, which is the parabolic movement until unsustainable price action targets, right? So it crumbles. So when it crumbles, usually it tries to make one last push, and then exactly that is exactly what we see. So parabolic that is going back in time, man. So at this point, well, we are in a big support area, right? We've seen also that in this big support area, we have that sweep of the low, so that parabolic last run up for then that V-shaped recovery. So it's just a basic same setup. Let me bring up my indicators to show you right here. So let's bring this up, and we have a liquidity zone in here. Even if it's bearish, it also has some bullish sentiment to it, or some bullish reaction to it. All right. And remember, this liquidity zone was in the past, which means the new liquidity zone, well, then it is likely for the thing to play it out once again, right? But it might have a different load. This 69 and 30 was the load at this point, and look at that. Even when it was more bearish than bullish, it pushed the price up. How and why does that happen? That because as we have some bearish, well, then the bearish was just not strong enough to hold the support. And when we were coming back down, there was nobody to sell it, as people with low volume could buy it and then spike back up. So it was just basically a gap of liquidity. All right. So that's why you could be seeing either, I mean, even if we're highly bearish, pushing the price upwards. All right. So I would rather suggest looking at the past reaction of the price and then act upon that. So what could we be expecting the price hits here? All right. And we also know that that is a liquidity zone. Price tends to go towards liquidity, right? So let's go and take a look at other stuff in here. For example, our daily support. Our daily support comes right at 108, somewhere around 108, 874. All right. Let's bring another one in here, which is predictive ranges, purple line, same exact area. And then we have two itty bitty blocks in here. What are those blocks? Where they are very small, I tend to call them smart money entries. And that is because, well, smart money waits for retail to spend all of their money fighting over a zone, and then with a little of volume, everything pointing at the same direction. That's why the disparity is low, because everybody or most of them are pointing at the same direction. That's why the disparity is low. All right. They push the price like crazy. All right. So do we have that smart money entry in here? Yes, I'm measuring that up. As you can see right here, this is the box. And then what else do we have? We have, well, let's go here. By the way, I mean, I'm surprised not to find an order block right down there, to be honest. But it is what it is. At the end of it all, 4 hours at Bitstamp, we don't have a order block. Another important thing, it is looking our FIVP. FIVP is just Fibonacci made simple, all right? If you are like, hey, F up Fibonacci is just too complicated, just add your FIVP. It's a free indicator, and we're going to make all of the work for you. Right now, we are ranging on the POC, which is point of control, because out of this previous pivot zone, well, we have the most amount of money flow, or the money injection, fighting over this area. But look at this, and let me hide everything else. Now it makes more sense, right? We see a red flag, a red line, aiming to a Fibonacci level with a possible target. Look at where that possible target is at. All right. If I bring on my spaghetti, you'll see that is right in clutch right here with our predictive range, daily support, smart money entry, right? So on and so forth. And just to finalize, let's take a look at something like our liquidations. Let's bring up our liquidations right on the 4 hour. What is it? The simplest, what is the easiest for the price? I mean, if you have enough money, if you owned a broker, all right, where you make the most of your fee, the most of your money out of the fees, out of the liquidation because you are the one lending the money and you are the one taking that money back, right? And you take it at no loss. So, what would you rather, or what would be easier, to manipulate the price from 109 to 108 or from 109 to 106, right? To collect these liquidations, or to manipulate the price from 109 all the way to 119, right? And I would say that we're crazy close to that 108 and then 106. So if we are looking at when will contracts will be closed in the upcoming future, what we can guess that the market makers, which are the ones making the market or opening the positions, or better yet, or better description yet, the ones that own a broker, would like to liquidate you, well then, most likely they're going to be injecting just a little bit of money to move the price action to 108 or 106 to collect that liquidation price. All right. Remember, they collect that at no loss on their wallet. They lose nothing, and then they collect it on Bitcoin. And then when it bounces back up, they sell it on spot, and then not only make their money on your money, right? They also make a profit on the rebound. So, and one last thing, remember one of my favorite indicators, which is my falling knife indicator. My falling knife indicator is telling me that we could reach all the way to 105, all right? So the bulk, let's just recap. Where is the bulk of the support, right? The bulk of the support is coming at liquidations 108 and 106. So 108, 106. Fibonacci levels, it is at 108. FIVP, again, Fibonacci levels at 108, right? Risk reward cost trend, no. VRVP, well, why not? We have a shelf at where we are right now, so let's just pretend that we are, well, we're not pretend, we are hovering around that area. What else we have in here? Order block. Here we go. Where is our line in here? 108 once again. Where is our support? 108 800, and once again right here 107 900. And well, we can keep going. Liquidity zone at 107, and then support at 107, and finally that's basically it. So you guys tell me, what do you think that we're gonna get, right? I mean, what is a big support right now? I don't see it. I mean, there's only one trend line right there, but everything else is pointing at 108 107. Right, so let's bring my spaghetti back up. All right, there we go. So this highly nutritional spaghetti is telling us that we could be looking for a re-entry somewhere around 108, 107, right? Perfect.
I gave you that level yesterday.
You did mention
It's funny
it.
how
You
it
did
all
mention
works.
What is it?
It all works, man. You
It all
get
works.
there, I get there.
Yes.
Magic, man.
Magic, absolutely. And well, for me, it's gonna be just give it a second, right? Give it a second. Most likely, we're gonna get somewhere around here. Look for your flip of the ribbon that we might already have it, right? And what I'm believing that we're gonna be seeing is gonna be one last push to create a little range, right? Something like this at the best, at the very best, but I'm thinking something more like this. And then, of course, that sweep of the lows. All right. So, thinking that we're going to be going lower, all right, speculating that we're going to be having that V-shaped recovery. Should I be opening longs on things like Solana? Maybe not now, right? Maybe it's not the smartest position right now to open a long on Solana. I mean, Solana is looking pretty strong, right? And right now, we are retracing back to the area that we could be jumping in. That's why we have a stop loss, by the way, to avoid, and my stop loss is wrong because it is right down here, and I'm wiggle something out in here. I need to enter my wiggle room. There you go. Wiggle, right? So, in case it comes back up, or oh, come on, where's my Bitcoin? Does that itty bitty push to the upside, all right? In case I see that push at the upside, I could be profiting out of a, retest, push through, dead cat bounce, coming back low as Bitcoin retraces to 107. All right, so if you're trying to catch this, good luck. I'm also going to be trying to catch it, but I'm not going to be jumping in here with a full position because I also see the risk that this thing just rolls over and continues downwards, right? And I don't like that. I don't like that idea. That's why I'm going to be limiting my X factor, which is my leverage, at a maximum of 10x. And then I'm going to be cutting down my risk at a quarter of a position. So that's what I got for that possible entry, talking about Solana. Talking about other things that I'm actually trading, let's go over, for example, Ethereum, FETH, still went back down to my entry point. Boom,
You love
shakalaka.
ETH, man.
It's one of those things.
You know
Like
what
hate and
I
love.
did yesterday, bro?
What is it?
I have to brag a little bit. Okay.
Let's go. Let me throw my screen so you can bring it up.
I gave an entry yesterday to my community, and it entered, so it hit. Guess how much I was off
Like
on
a cent.
Ethereum?
Like $2.
32 cents.
32 cents, man.
Bro.
Telling you, FETH,
Uh,
man. FETH. You gotta jump into
Look at
that
this
F
entry.
wagon, man.
As it was dumping, look at this. Bro. Stupid, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely stupid. And I gave the idea when it was here. Okay. But yeah, big sell wall coming into here, retest the previous lows, big dump, right? Same with Solana. I've closed that trade now. Why, right? We look at Solana. Why would we close Solana? Double top. Okay. Double top, liquidity sweep, rejection. Okay, why do we close Bitcoin trade now? Well, Bitcoin told the story. That's why. Look, you got bullish momentum coming up here. You got a market structure change right here. Bloop. So what are you looking for now? Shorts, retest, off you go, right? So short-term time frame, obviously this has been choppy. I mean, I shorted here this morning. So if we're talking about my morning and why I got pissed off, it's because like I seen it properly, but I didn't trade it properly. Okay. So first, I wasn't paying attention this morning to news. News came out here. However, I was looking for the long here. VWAP pushed through, so I missed this trade because I wasn't paying attention. I was too busy talking about sandwiches on my stream. Okay. Fucking
I haven't
missed
taken
out on a
breakfast,
lot
man.
of sandwiches, I tell you. I mean, I could have had sandwiches for the whole month, you know? We were talking about Philly cheesesteak sandwiches, grilled cheese.
Dude, you're
We were
killing
talking
me.
about we were talking, what do you think? Is a hot dog a sandwich, OC?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's
It
a
is.
sandwich, right?
It's
Got
sandwich,
meat
yes.
and a bun,
Yeah,
right?
it's a
This
it's
is a
a
sandwich.
taco,
Come on.
a sandwich.
Hot dogs are sandwiches. Yeah. Tacos are sandwiches too, man.
Right.
Right?
Quesadillas are sandwiches too.
Yeah, exactly. A burrito sandwich. It's still bread with something inside of it. That's a
Right.
sandwich, right? Okay. Good. Debate solved. Okay, so I missed my long. I told everybody to long here too. I'm like breakout, go. It went. Then my stupid ass, okay? My stupid ass. That's why I got mad, okay? My stupid ass, okay? So I'm looking for SFP of the high. I'm looking for a short now. So honestly, right here, just missed $900, okay? Right here. I short here, OC, like a dumbass. I short here. I get stopped out. Stopped out here. $300 loss. Okay? Instead of waiting for the confirmation, bearish engulfing candle, I should have shorted here. Okay? So all I had to do was wait. And I didn't wait. I rushed the trade because I missed this trade. So I was right about this trade, but I rushed it. So what did I do? I got stopped out. Okay? Dumbass. Next trade. Okay, so I'm down another. So this one, I didn't take the trade. This one, I'm down 300, right? Then this one here. Perfect VWAP slap, bro. I took this trade here, made 300 here. So I'm break even for the day. Then it all falls apart, bro. Then it all falls apart. I like long here. I get stopped out here. Then I longed here. I got stopped out here. Then I shorted here. And I got stopped out here.
No way. And if you
And I was pissed.
and if you look at it, you were basically
And then
right.
I saw this SFP,
Right?
right? And I was like, last effing chance. And I longed Solana here.
Nice.
I made 1,500, right? So I'm down 500 for the day. But like, it's days like this that get me, bro, because for me, this should be 900. This should be another 900. And this level all morning, look at the big yellow line. Look at this. All I had to do, if I just took the one fucking trade today, this one trade I've had set up all morning. If I just took this one, $1,500, right? So to me, that's 1,815, right? I mean, I should be up $3,300 today, right? Should be. I should have killed this. And then I should have shorted here too. Right? Shoulda, coulda, woulda, didn't. Right? So that was the frustration. But what I did do is after taking the loss on the live stream and getting pissed off, I did take a break. And I stopped myself from getting tilted, too angry because it happens to all of us, right? It's how you deal with it in the moment, right? Oh, I missed this trade. Oh, I could have done this. Oh, da, da, da. And it's a mindset thing, right? Because at the end of the day, it's player versus player, you versus you, right?
Yes.
You're your own worst enemy. We're not robotic, but we want to be as robotic as possible, right? Take the trade, manage your risk, lots of confluence, rinse and repeat. Okay? So that's my story this morning. I'm happy I took a good trade on Solana, but it's also like I probably need to go and play golf today.
Let's go.
Oh man. Someone was asking about CME gap. 10K CME gap? I don't know. I mean, I think I got it marked out somewhere in here. Yeah, there it is. I told you I got it marked out.
I don't mind. That seems a little too low.
That's the last one, bro. That's the lowest one. The 10K CME gap. It's famous, bro. This is where Gareth Soloway said we were going in the bear market. I remember. And he was really wrong.
I think it's going to be one of those legendary things until we have, I don't know. I don't know if we're ever going to get there.
I don't think we're ever getting there, bro.
Yeah.
We were within 30%. And that was the FTX collapse, okay? So unless Michael Saylor sells all his Bitcoin,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, we had little gaps all the way up, though, right? And they typically get filled. We just put in another one, didn't we? That one got filled. We have one above us, right? This one got filled. This one got filled. This one got filled. This one just got filled today. Look at that. Dump it, right? So, you know, what I liked, I did like a little lesson on this in my Discord. And what I want you to understand with CME gaps is as we get higher in the bull run, they have less importance, okay? Why? Because 97% get filled, right? That's the statistic of CME gaps get filled. Okay? What does this mean? They get filled. Doesn't say when, right? And if you are in a bull run and you're at the top of a bull run, okay? And you have CME gaps. Look at this. This is your very easy chart, okay? If you're putting in CME gaps up here, when do you think they're going to be filled? In the bear market, right? When we actually stop the bull run. This is going to continue to push and then they'll be recovered. And the evidence shows this, right? If we go over to our previous bull run and we look here, we can see that all these gaps here on our final run, they get filled here, right? They get filled. This one here gets filled over here, right? These ones on the way up get filled on the way down. Okay? Just like when we're coming into a bear market, right? These ones over here get filled on the bull run. Okay? There's your 97%, right? So if we are, I would assume that we're in this last bit of the market. Maybe we're right here right now, but I would assume we're somewhere in here. That if we're making gaps, we're typically going to recover them on the way down. That's my thought. That's just common sense, really, in my opinion. But so I don't put as much weight as you typically would on CME gaps all the way up here. Make sense?
Makes sense. Let me take on a question from Stock Scalping Samurai because he has a very good point right there. He says, AOC, can we combine, and let me just find it out here. Hey, can MACD normalize be combined with MVP oscillator, or is that redundant? Everything can be combined. Everything can be combined, and maybe do not. I would say it, and this is just my opinion. It's a little redundant, but you can still strike a couple of things out of it. Anything should have a purpose, right? So that is the point. If you want to combine them because it gives you more information. Let's go and check that out really quickly. So right here, we have our MACD normals at the top, and then we also have our Prime Oscillator Pro. All right. If you go into your Prime Oscillator Pro, you can go into your oscillator select and then get your MVP oscillator. All right. I want you guys to notice that the ribbon is very close, not exactly the same, but very close to your MVP oscillator. I would say that it's a little redundant. All right. And I would say this is a little redundant because you already have the better version here. And what is it, the better version?
I can't see you. Oh, there we go. I can see it now. You're good.
Thank you. And this is the better version because it gives you your lower spots, right? This is a special calculation that this one does not have. All right, maybe, and here's where the interesting part comes in place, right? Let me show you, for example, what I did in here on my, linear regression oscillator, all right? I added my linear regression oscillator that gives me a lot of information. I clean up that information because I already know how to handle that with my eyes, so I don't want it to bother me. And then I added a free indicator. This free indicator is the ADX. It measures strength, right? Strength of what? Of whatever the color of my linear regression oscillator is at. So, for example, right here, sorry about that. We are blue, which means we're bearish. And my line, it's pointing downwards. So that means I don't have strength on the bearish. So what happens when I lose strength in the bearishness? It bounces up. Not like this, All right, not like that, but something like this to continue downwards. Something like this to then continue downwards. Something like this to then continue downwards, if that makes sense. All right. So right here, losing the strength on the bearishness might get me a bullish bounce to continue downwards. Right. So easy peasy. So as you can see, I used right one tool, the ADX, to give me a much better result on what I'm seeing right here on my charts, right? And here's the thing, the ADX is a little bit more of a complex thing. Let's go and look at it. ADX, right? Just to show you around. And this is the actual ADX. So what I do with this ADX, I don't use the DI plus and DI minus, and then I just use those two, and then I change the color from the ADX to purple, turn on the thickness, here it goes, and then keep my white line at the bottom like this is it, so I can pair it with my MACD normalized, right? So that gives me a way better setup in there. All right, let's now get rid of this, and let's do the same thing in here. So as you can see, I use a portion of another indicator to give me a better result, right? Or a better prediction. What I could actually go for, it is, you know what? I already have my MVP oscillator. My MVP oscillator give me reversals, give me localized bottoms, right? And if you're using the monthly, that give you complete market bottoms right there. So they're pretty fantastic. And they also give me the same ribbon or a very close ribbon to my MACD normalized. It also give me overbought and oversold, all right, areas right there. So what am I missing? I'm missing the histogram. So why not? I can go in here and then start looking for example, this plot. So I turned off this plot, and then I just keep turning things off, right? Until, oh, there it is, until I have just, and let's go for also this and this and this. Oh, well, seems I cannot change anything else, right? Until I have my actual just MACD right there. At this point, I thought I could be, yep, perfect. I can turn off the ribbon, enable colors, input of this, and I think that's it. So now that I have this histogram, I can click OK, grab it, and push it downwards below in here, right? So right here, you might be having something that you may not have on the other one, which is the histogram, right? If this is what you're looking for, if this is adding to your trading style, go for it. If it's just adding noise, and by the way, I would just change the style in here, all right, and make it a area or make it something that I can maybe see through, like a line, all right, or make it something like, let's see, no steps, it's just something with a feel. There you go, something with that give me that sense of a feel that is not interfering with my actual ribbon. Let's just go now for this histogram right here, which as you can see, it is less invasive, right? Other than the columns. So maybe I can go for the histogram here and then go to input and, well, maybe try to locate somewhere that I can change the color, which I don't think I can. So this would be a more complete indicator that just having the MACD normalized for once and then your MVP oscillator. But the question is, and this is the one that that only you can answer, if this is worth adding it on top of it, or if it's just adding noise, right? So let me go back and let me just get rid also of this one. All right, let me go back to my linear regression oscillator, right? Right here on this one, I added the ADX right here because it gives me strength on a trend, something that my regression oscillator is not giving me, right? So it does have a purpose and serve a combined purpose that gives me a way better, exponentially better result together than just having them by themselves, right? The question is, do you get an outstanding result combining those two? If the answer is yes, do it, right? And just do the portion of the stuff that gets you that outstanding result, all right? So that is just to let you know, guys, that you can combine indicators and that you can do way much more, right? And by the way, the linear regression oscillator, it's a free oscillator, and you've seen me use it as a premium indicator because it's just that good. So we're running out of time. It's already 9:59. Let's wrap this up. Alex, how do you have any messages for our viewers?
Yeah, right now the Nasdaq and the SPY look very strong, so we could see a short squeeze coming in later today. But for me, it's patience. We're looking for retracements. Okay, so be safe out there, and we will see you guys tomorrow.
Absolutely. Guys, thank you so much for joining. And as always, see you guys tomorrow.